But he's going to hit over 300. He gets out of bed hitting over 300. This guy, the Dodgers gave this guy away without seeing him play. Houston said, thank you. I can't remember whatever. Houston said, thank you very much. I'll take him. Comes up last year, seemingly out of nowhere, jumps a highly touted Kyle Tucker because he was at the minors hitting .343. He had 23 homers in 56 games, hitting one at a clip of every other game. And Asher said, you know what? We need that on our team. And he didn't disappoint. In 87 games, guys, Alvarez hit 27 homers last year at the major league level while carrying a .313 batting average. His OPS for the year was 1,067. That's crazy. He's 20. He'll play this year at 23 years old. He's going to DH, but who fuck cares? He's a stud. You're going to have to draft him high to get him. He's going to be a first-round pick after this year. Kevin, I feel about Jordan Alvarez the same way I feel about Bo Bichette. Both of these guys are going to be first round picks for the foreseeable future. Get them now at an incredible value. Here's the kicker about Jordan Alvarez, and I'm going to move on. Because damn it, here I am at 7:45. I'm not on with Arnie tonight, so I'm going to finish my content. Stick with me, guys, okay? Last year, between the majors and AAA, you put those numbers together, you got 50 homers. You got 108 runs, and you got 149 RBIs out of Jordan Alvarez last year. I'll say it slowly. Jordan Alvarez last year had 149 RBIs between AAA and the majors. That's impressive. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you he's going to hit 149 RBIs this year. Can he hit you 130 though? If he stays healthy. That's your number 10 outfielder. I'm going to start moving a little bit more slowly because I do want to get through these guys. This is great though, right? Welcome, Ed. Thanks for coming by, buddy. Let's talk about Starling Marte real quick. 4th round pick for Alvarez. You guys still think that's... What do you think about that? I think that's a value. I have him in my Dynasty League. I'm trying to get him everywhere I can. Outfielder number 11, Starling Marte. His ADP is 35.7. God, you got to be happy for him getting out of Pittsburgh. I'm sad as a Pittsburgher. A Pittsburgher. 295 last year. 23 homers. I've talked about him ad nauseum. You guys know I like him. He hit 314 after May 5th last year. He has to be excited about playing for a team that wants to win. He's a career 287 hitter. He's averaged 41 stolen bases for every 162 he's played. I'll say that again, it's important. He's averaged 41 stolen bases for every full 162 games he's played. That's one full major league season. He's stolen 58 in the last 2 years. Look for the Marte brothers to run this year. 3rd round pick, it's a steal. I dig it. I think 295 goes up. I think 23 goes up. I think 25 goes up. 97 runs is really good. I think 82 RBIs goes up. I think 4 or 5 categories goes up for Starling Marte. Lenny outbid me. Damn it. Congratulations. I think you got a good ball player. Malpow, I lied to you. I got George Springer as my last outfielder one. It's funny. I was kind of embarrassed last week or the week before when you were talking about Trey Mancini. And I didn't have him on my damn list. But then I went out and drafted him, right? All right, man. Let's talk about Springer real quick. 292, 39 homers. 96 and 96 with 6 stolen bases. I talked about his decline in the stolen base category. I said earlier that we're going to go case by case with these Houston hitters. What I like about Springer, he's hit 95 homers in his last 3 years. That is really freaking good. He's maintained a respectable batting average. I generally put 260 as my bar on the batting average. He's not been below 260 since his rookie year. The thing I like about Springer is where he hits in the lineup and the team he plays for. I think Springer is an elite runs producer potential. And I'm drafting him accordingly. Springer's currently going right around the end of the 4th round. All of these guys are good values. I want to go back to that point, right? When you're drafting, you want to pay attention to certain aspects. But this is where you get your talent. You can get pitching later. You can get a shortstop later. There's only 12 of these guys. Just like I talked about 1 through 6 being interchangeable, I really do think 7 through 12, and if you think about it with these, I'll go back over it quickly. Kettle Marte, Aaron Judge, Austin Meadows, Jordan Alvarez, Starling Marte, George Springer. Are those guys not interchangeable as well? Could you not put George Springer, like you said, Malpow, at 6? Could you not put Starling Marte at 6? But these guys are all over the board with ADP. So you could potentially get 2 of these guys if you're really planning accordingly. That's my whole point to this, okay? I'm going to run through a little bit quicker. It's almost 8 o'clock, but I got a lot of good information I want to share with you guys. I got a great chat room. Thank you guys for joining me. You're listening to Chaps Fantasy Chat. I come to you on Tuesdays at 7 during baseball season. I'm brought to you on the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports Network at LennyMelnickFantasySports.com. I love baseball. I love football too, but baseball is such a wide open. There's so many things to talk about with baseball. You can really drill down on things that others aren't talking about. And the best part about doing this show, you got to work your ass off, guys. You got to really research these guys, okay? I got to admit this next guy. This first guy. So this ought to say the first guy in my outfield 2 category, the second 12. I didn't really, he was an afterthought to me. And Andrew's talked about this guy a lot. How about Bryce Harper, guys? Bryce Harper, again, beginning of the 3rd round value, 25.3 ADP. But think about all he had to deal with last year. He's 27 years old. So he's still in his, you could almost say he's even sort of trending upward. He's right in the peak of that bell curve, right, with age. But he moved cities, and not only did he move cities, he stayed within the same baseball division. That's showing some big cojones, right? Saying, you know what? Nationals? I'm going to go to a team and I'm going to play you 17 times a year. That's impressive to me. Andy, do it. I would, but I'm drafting this stupid, or I'm talking about this. Go pick him, Andy. I'd have you pick him for me, but I can't. But let's get back to Harper. Think about all of the hubbub that went off last offseason about Bryce Harper. Think about his slow start. Think about him getting booed in Philadelphia. Think about all the negative things that happened to him throughout the course of last season as he adjusted to his new environment. Bryce Harper hit .260. He hit 35 homers, 98 runs, 114 RBIs, and 15 stolen bases. Surprised? I was. You're talking about a guy here who's going to be more comfortable. He knows how to get to the park. He knows where the dressing room is. He knows the batting practice routine. He knows his hitting coaches. He knows where he's going to park. I mean, just all of this plethora of extra bullshit that goes into, that distracts from, rather, game preparation. Guys, we forget, just in 2015, he hit .330 with 42 homers, and he won the MVP. Now, I'm not sitting here trying to prognosticate that he's going to hit .330. All I'm trying to tell you guys that I think .260 goes north. I think 35 homers goes north. His runs and RBIs were fine. And if both of those numbers go north, I'm totally fine with the 15 stolen bases. You're talking about the start of the third round for Bryce Harper. If he returns close to form of 2015 in his MVP season, it's a value. Right? That's how we're thinking about this. So he's my number perspective. What I'm talking about, why this is so important to do. You're talking about the 13th outfielder with an ADP of 25.3 and a second round bid. Guys, this is going to fall off. We're going to talk about it next time. I'm not saying there's not talent. There's not elite talent. I'm saying these guys are pretty much givens. So you're basically paying for an established floor at this point. No, I'm not. I got Gary Sanchez, Malpal. I'm not going to do that. I felt the same way about Joe Adell. I think it's 7. I'm like, damn it. Of course, that's just $7, right? Let's talk about Chris Bryant. He's my second outfielder of this second tier. His ADP is 54.7. He's 28 years old. It's really been pretty sad because after his MVP season in 2016, he's been a disappointment. Now, I say he's been a disappointment. I don't want you to mistake what I'm saying.